Whether you have a 3-month-old, a 6-month-old, or you are wanting to celebrate your little one turning 1 at Disney, today we are chatting about taking your baby to a Disney theme park. What are the best rides to go on? What are rides you should avoid? And what shows or parades are a must-see? We will discuss tips and tricks on taking your baby to Disney coming up. Thanks for joining us. This is Newbies.
He's gorgeous.
It's a girl.
Surprise! The whole family's here.
So when are you having the next one?
It's just poop.
Ready for another?
Wow, you look really tired.
Ready to go back to work?
Yellow poop? Seriously?
Did you sterilize this?
Sex? Now? You've got to be joking.
You should sleep when the baby sleeps.
She doesn't look anything like you.
I thought you already had your baby.
I did.
Babies don't come with instructions, so there's Newbies, helping new moms and new babies through the first year.
Welcome to Newbies. My name is Kaylee Hunt, and I'll be your host today. If you haven't already, be sure to visit our website at newmommymedia.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which keeps you updated on all the episodes we release each week. Another great way to stay updated is to hit that subscribe button in your podcast app. And if you're looking for a way to get even more involved with our show, then check out our online community. It's called Mighty Moms. That's where we chat more about the topics discussed here on our show, and it's also an easy way to learn about our recordings so you can join us live. Today, we have some seasoned moms joining us who have taken their kids to Disney during various different stages of their lives. First, I want to introduce Christina, a mom of 2 boys who visits Disneyland frequently. Christina, thanks for joining us, and tell us more about your family.
Well, hello. And, I really love that you said I was a seasoned mom because I still feel like I am in the trenches and I am not a seasoned mom. But hey, I appreciate that you view me that way. But yeah, my name's Christina Davies and I have 2 boys. I often do, yes, this is a terrible word, but I do refer to them as feral because they are wild. I have a 1.5-year-old and 3.5. Well, he's almost 4. But yeah, we are just surviving, but I'm not sure about thriving.
I love that. And Disneyland, so we were talking before we hit record, but you hold an annual pass. How exciting. Did you know that before you had kids that you would be a Disney family?
So, I'm from Southern California, and I was very fortunate enough that my parents would take us to Disneyland and California Adventure a lot. So I knew that eventually, like at some point, I would want to take my kids as well. I don't know if I knew like I would take them as much, but like we had passes growing up. And so I just felt like it was only natural to get the passes as well for my kids.
I love that, especially if they're young too. And I'm excited to dive deep into having passes with kids who are under 3 or over 3, which we'll be excited to talk about. Our next mom joining us is Darian, who lives on the East Coast and visits Disney World frequently. I'm excited because both Christina and I are from the West Coast. I've only visited Disneyland. And so Darian, thank you for joining us and tell us more about your family.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Darian, also known as Raised by Magic. I'm a mom of 6, and we do go to Disney World all the time, which is new. My love for Disney started as a child, but I never got to go to Disney. My first Disney trip was when I took my oldest for her 5th birthday. And once I came, I fell in love with the actual magic of being in the parks. And we thought it would be, let's just take our kids every 5th birthday. And it became, let's go every year to let's move to Florida because I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. So we moved to Orlando in 2020, became annual pass holders, and started going weekly.
So I love that.
Yeah, a craziness with 6. And then we had 2 kids since we moved there. So yeah, craziness of Disney with 6 kids. All under the age of 12. My oldest is 12.
How special. I know you have a pretty good social media platform, and that's where I actually found you is on Instagram. And I was like, you make Disney look easy. We need to get this girl on our show, and let's talk about all the tips and tricks. Yes, thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Make it look easy. That's the key word, look.
Yes.
It's not.
I will also be chiming in on my tips and tricks, taking my 1-year-old to Disneyland and her favorite rides she had, plus some of her least favorite rides, which really wasn't that much, but still, we'll talk about that after our quick break. Today, we're discussing taking your baby to a Disney theme park. So first section, I want to just break down the theme parks. We have listeners from all over the country. So let's chat about the different theme parks. Darian, I'm going to toss this over to you. Can you break down Disney World for us? And honestly, me specifically, because I've never been.
Yes, Disney World is huge. Like, I never really realized the difference between land and world until I went to land for the first time, and I was like, wow, yeah, Disney World is huge. So there are 4 parks. There's Epcot, Magic Kingdom, which is the one with the castle. That's what I always tell people. Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. So, and then there are 2 water parks also, but we're just going to focus. I guess, do we just want to focus on the main 4 parks?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's a lot. But yeah, so 4 main parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios.
I love that. Now, are all the Disney World parks, excluding the water parks, are they pretty baby friendly?
Yes, even the water park. It's baby friendly. I feel like the 2 that are most baby friendly, in my opinion, are Magic Kingdom and Epcot. They have the most family friendly rides where like we can ride all together. Hollywood Studios, though, I love that for the babies because they have a lot of shows. And they have the Disney Junior Dance Party. So if your toddler or baby is into Disney Junior, then they'll know those characters. And, you know, what baby doesn't love bubbles and dancing? And then Animal Kingdom is kind of like a magical zoo. There's a petting zoo there. So that's why I say every park really is perfect for babies because there's something that they can find to do at each park.
I love that. Okay, switching gears, going to the West Coast. Christina, can you break down Disneyland for some of our viewers who have never been?
Yeah, so there's Disneyland and then there's California Adventure. We typically go to both, but Disneyland is like your typical Disney original characters. And then California Adventure has more of like Cars theme, Incredibles, there's Little Mermaid over there. So a little bit of a mixture.
I love that. And so in your opinion, which park is more baby friendly for people who want to go, but maybe just want to go to one park with their 1-year-old?
I would say Disneyland because I feel that there are more rides for like the littles to go on, but both have like a baby care center. And I think it also just depends though, like if I have an older child and he is obsessed with cars. So California Adventure for us sometimes is like if baby's sleeping, we're going to go there.
I love that. And so correct me if I'm wrong, Christina, but kids under 3 are free and is true, right?
Yes, under 3. And but Scotty's 3. And there are some people who will wait. We're not one of those people because Scotty is a very tall and he also talks really well and he talks like he's 6. So, we follow the rules.
I love that. And so in your opinion, why should someone take their baby to Disneyland, especially in the early days? I don't know how early you took your kids, but why would someone take a 6-month-old, to Disneyland? I want you to kind of persuade them.
Okay, so we took Scotty the first time when he was like 18 months old. And that was just incredible to see like the magic through his eyes. After we had Miller, which is my younger son, taking him, I mean, they're looking and they're very like open-eyed. But I think that if we didn't, like, I wish I took Scotty earlier as well. I just think it's something fun for the family to do that's different. And it is very stimulating, I would say, for the kids.
I would agree. I took my daughter, she was already 1. And totally agree with you. I wish we took her younger because one, I love Disneyland, so I would have had a great time. Two, there's a lot of rides that I didn't know, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, but there's a lot of rides that like baby can go on, like literally hold her in your lap and just ride Peter Pan or ride Snow White, you know? And so I think a lot of people don't know that. And they're like, oh, Disney with the baby, you know, they can't get on rides, but they can, which is fun for mom, dad, whoever. And then, you know, I see a bunch on social media of like going on vacation with your kid. And it's like, they're going to be a baby. They're going to be a toddler, whatever. There's going to be tantrums and cries. Might as well be at Disneyland. And you can get like a quick, you know, sweet treat during one of their episodes, which I think is kind of funny.
Right. And I also think it's good just to get out, like get the kiddos out. It took us, I would say, a few times of taking our kids there before they understood that concept of we wait in line. And this is what we typically do when we come to Disney or California Adventures. So I think it's just good to get out and kind of, or at least if you're going there, to get in like a rhythm.
I love that. And Darian,
Yeah, I was going to say that
seasoned
too.
mom. Yes. I was going to ask you, being a seasoned mom of 6, holy moly, I only have 1 and I have my hands full, but what are your must-have items? And I'm talking about when you go to the park. So like stroller, water bottle, whatever it may be, what would you recommend for moms who have littles going to Disney World?
Okay, so when my youngest were in the parks, like in the early ages, like 6 months, a cooling towel in Florida. Florida gets so hot. And especially if you're going to come during the summer months, a cooling towel, an insulated water bottle, a cooler, like even if it's like a cooler to put in your backpack or a smaller cooler, because everything is going to get so hot. I learned my lesson after we moved to Florida. We had regular water bottles. We got off a ride. It's like the water was boiling. So I learned that quickly. Insulated water bottles. Fans, stroller fans. It's not only for the baby, but for you when you're pushing the stroller. So the little one for the baby, the one that clips on the top for mom or dad, whoever's pushing the stroller. Extra outfits, extra diapers, like the regular stuff that you would think that you would bring. Because one time I literally forgot a pack of wipes and I had to go to the baby center. Like, oh, can I get some wipes? One time we forgot a bottle and the babysitter has everything. But when you go so often like I do, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I forgot to grab this. So, and it's not I thought that it would be expensive, the babysitter, but like for the necessities, a bottle I think was $2. So
nice.
That's also good to know for parents because I was like, oh no, what are they going to charge me for a bottle?
Mm-hmm. That has like a Mickey head on it.
Exactly. But actually, it was a plain bottle. If it had a Mickey head, they probably would have upped the price. And I probably would have bought it.
Definitely. Yeah.
What else? So the cooling towels, the fan, a stroller with good shade. I know some people, like if you're bringing your own or if you're renting there, you want one that reclines back because, especially if you're bringing babies, toddlers, don't mess up their nap time. They're going to want to nap. You're going to want to be able to push them still while you're having fun. And a good shade and recline is a must-have. Those are like the top things that I can think of. I make so many lists on my TikTok, but those are like the top. I'm always going to be like, oh, little baby sunglasses. Anything to keep baby comfortable because like if they're comfortable, then that's just going to make your experience a whole lot better. The sun is in their eye. That's not going to be fun. Little baby sun hats, little things like that you don't think about until you get there. Like those are must-haves to me.
Definitely. I would also add on shoes if you have a baby/toddler that's walking. My daughter never wears shoes. You know, even when we run errands, she just never has shoes on. Anyway, I purposely brought 2 pairs of shoes and she, of course, like in toddler fashion, lost 1 shoe. So I was glad I brought an extra pair and was keeping close eyes on that because I don't know, my toddler's wild and she loves to walk. And so you know, when you go to a Disney park, you know, you're in the stroller and then you're sitting on a ride and there's not a lot of chance to walk around and burn energy out. And so I was so thankful around like 5 p.m.-ish. I'm at the park. I was like, let's get some shoes on and let's walk around while we wait for a show, you know? And so, yeah, definitely adding shoes onto that list is very important. Yeah.
It is. And you know what? I don't know if you've noticed this when you went, but if your toddler, especially around that age, if they're starting to stand up, they can't stand next to the characters if they don't have shoes on. You would have to hold them. So shoes are important for that too. So if you want them like standing next to a character without you, they're going to have shoes on for that too.
How important. Yay. Thanks for adding that.
Right, right. When you said that, I thought about that because my kids are the same way. They'll kick those shoes off in a minute.
Yes.
And
it's so funny. Yeah. And then it's gone.
Right.
I love how you guys are bringing all this stuff because I feel like my first couple times I went, I was bringing anything and everything because like bringing my whole house with me to Disneyland. And now I'm almost at this point where I am like, of course I'll bring like the fans, like water bottles and all that stuff and an extra pair of like an extra outfit. But I don't know. I feel like I've lightened the load a little bit since going so much. And even the last time I went, I was thinking I can probably bring a smaller like style diaper bag now. I think I'm just at that point where I'm like, oh, if I forget it, I'm just going to buy it. It's fine.
Oh, yes.
That's the best thing, being a
I just am kind of, I don't know. I think I'm just like, oh, okay. The one thing I'll say though is we did and continue to, we'll bring their light up bubble machines that are purchased from Disney and like one that they like watched me purchase because then they know that that's from Disney. Occasionally we will go and like splurge and buy like a new one for the holidays, but I think that's like the only other thing that we bring with us is something that we've purchased there before to like bring back because then they won't ask for another toy.
So smart. So smart. Perfect. Well, we got more questions coming up, but first let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Newbies. This section is my favorite. I'm a rides girl. I love rides at Disney. So we're talking about rides specifically for small babies. So, 1 and under, 18 months and under, babies and toddlers that are just still kind of small and can't get on, I don't know, bigger rides like Indiana Jones. Anyway, Disneyland rides, Christina, for a baby that is too small for Indiana Jones. What are some of your favorite ones that you had or you went on with your kids?
Well, of course, the carousel. You got to start with that. Small World. Let's see. There is, I'm blanking already on the name, but the rocket ship ride that just goes around up and down. Winnie the Pooh. And there's more rides. Okay. I'll say there's like, we love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad Train, that one, except there are a couple times where it gets like a little woo. So just got to hold on to baby. And we're big because my 3.5-year-old, he is big on the Buzz ride, Astro Blasters. But there's only, and our little one also loved it too. Like we would take him when he was a baby. But there's one spot on that ride where I always cover Miller's ears because I don't know why, but Zurg and the Astro Blaster ride, it makes this loud noise and it will actually set my watch off. And so I always cover his ears because I'm like, why is it this loud right here? It's just like this, like, it's like a bang noise. It's just, and it's like almost like a high pitched bang noise. It's kind of loud. And some days it sets my watch off and I'm like, his poor little ears. So I do cover his ears. There are like I think you mentioned it, like Snow White and those rides, but I kind of think those are a little scary when we're going through them.
Yes. Good for like baby who doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Right. And like
for Scotty, like the 3-year-old, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's kind of like, they're like going through all these different areas and it's just a little, I'm thinking like I'm looking at him and he's kind of frightened, but baby wise, yeah. But like baby, those types of rides, Alice in Wonderland, like those I think are great.
I love that. My favorite ride, even till this day as an adult, is Jungle Cruise. That's a good one.
Yes.
I love pointing out the animals. We don't have real animals on the West Coast. So that's a great one to be like, oh, look at the elephant, the hippos, the piranhas. I think that's super cute to start naming. And then, yeah, you mentioned It's a Small World. For the Mickey and Minnie's, is it Runaway Railroad? I am shocked that you can bring a baby on that ride because it goes so fast. I love it. but it's pretty fast. And I remember there was a point, and I rode it for the first time with my daughter, and I was like, oh, great. She was sitting in between me and my mom. She was holding on. And then it just like goes super quick, and she like scooted on my lap. And I was like, whoa, this goes fast. Super fun. She loved it eventually. But yeah, that was a good one that I was kind of shocked she could get on.
Yeah. I think the first time we took Miller on it, I was baby wearing him. So he was like very close to me, and they like let me wear him that way. But yeah, like otherwise now for like, I don't sit him down next to me. He's definitely on my lap, and I'm holding on to him.
Definitely. Switching gears, Darian, break down some really good Disney World rides. And I know I believe I've been to Disney Tokyo, but I haven't been to Disney World. At least for Disney Tokyo compared to Disneyland, the rides are pretty similar. There are some differences. So I know at Disney World, there's obviously, Alice in Wonderland, I'm thinking Snow White. But what are some other rides that maybe we didn't mention that you think would be good for babies and toddlers?
Trying to think, because like especially at Magic Kingdom, those are a lot of the same rides. So, recently I did take my baby on Haunted Mansion, but like you said, it could be scary if they know what's going on. But if it's a baby, then he didn't care. He didn't really get scared. He just looks, or he's like, I'm chilling, I'm along for the ride. So Haunted Mansion technically doesn't have a height. You know what are good? I don't know if you all have this at Disneyland, the Aladdin magic carpets.
No, I don't think so.
We don't.
Okay, it's like Dumbo. So it's like Dumbo, and they can ride on that one. Trying to see differences.
But they can't ride Dumbo here.
They can't?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Or can they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That was
I feel
like my baby's first
was
ride, Dumbo. That is interesting.
I'm going to look right now.
Like, wow,
I know the height
why.
requirements were kind of shocking. Yeah, because I was shocked about Minnie's and Mickey's Runaway Railroad.
Now, Mickey
they could
and Minnie,
ride.
when you guys were talking about that, is funny
Dumbo
because
is any height. It is any height.
Okay, so Dumbo Magic Carpets is like the same as that. We have both at Magic Kingdom. But the Mickey Runaway Railway, we have that at Hollywood Studios. And that was actually one of my kids' first ride as a baby. And that was my first time riding. And I was so glad I was baby wearing, because it definitely does jerk you around.
It does.
And
yeah.
if you don't know, so now I'm like, I always tell people, you can get on that one, just baby wear or hold them on your lap tightly, because they're going to slide around if you're not expecting it. Another one that we have that doesn't have a height requirement, but it's kind of like, wow, this is kind of scary, is Frozen at Epcot. That's another no height required ride, but it goes backwards and it's kind of scary also. And I think my daughter was like obsessed with Frozen, so we got on there. But she was definitely scared the first time we got on. I think she was 3 or 4. And now she's 5 and she's like, I remember I was scared the first time, but I love it. And it goes backwards though. And so that's another, and you kind of get wet too. And if you don't know, I said, that's why it's so, like sometimes when I tell people to watch videos of rides before they go with kids, so you can get an idea, because some people are like, oh, we want to be surprised. You're going to be surprised, all right. Because that no height requirement can be mean all type of things.
Definitely. I was going to chime in rides to skip, which could be Frozen for some families. One on Disneyland, and I don't know if Disney World has a drop in Pirates, but Pirates in Disneyland has I think a pretty big drop. I like it. I chose to go on it with my daughter, and you know what? Looking back now, that was brave of me. So she, it was getting late. It was like 2:00, which is her nap time, and she was kind of rubbing her eyes. Anyway, there was no line really. It was like a 5-minute wait for Pirates, and so she actually didn't mind the drop, and it's so dark in there, she fell asleep. So it kind of worked in my favor, but there is a pretty big drop for Pirates, and it just worked in my favor, honestly. I like that ride. But for some parents of littles, because Pirates doesn't have a height requirement at all, and it has a pretty big drop. It's a water ride. That would be one I would recommend. Any others?
So Disney
That'd probably
World
be the one I would.
Yeah, Disney World is the same. We do have that drop. Another one where it was my first time with them, and we're like, well, we're going with it. But I think that's why I like shows like this. just informing other people, because some kids do have sensory things. Like my oldest does not like getting wet. So if I would have known that ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have let her get on that ride.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, 'cause sometimes, especially in the front, you get wet. Do you get wet on Frozen as well?
Yes, those two are kind of similar now that I think about it, but the drop with Frozen, I don't think is as big, and it's backwards. And so my kids were like, backwards? What is this?
How fun. I love that. Well, we got more questions coming up, but first, let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Newbies. Our last section will be about parades, firework shows, and just stuff to check out. Hence the baby center we talked earlier about in the show. But first question, Christina, I'm not a parades person. I've definitely been a rides person, even since I was a kid. What parades, if you can help me out, should you view? There's so many, don't feel like you have to talk about all of them, but what parades should people have their eyes out for a good baby toddler?
Okay, so when we went, I mean, obviously now it's like the holiday time, but we absolutely love the Magic Happens parade that they were doing. And we would try to make it every single time. And it's just the music, it's just so fun. The kids love it. Obviously, during like the busy season and hours I say hours, but I mean like leading up, right? You have to like go and make sure you get your seats because being up front is like the best thing. So I would definitely try to check out a parade if you do go, especially with, I mean, again, like the whole sensory thing, it's like stimulating for them. So definitely I would check out a parade. The one thing though that I was and I remember this from last year, was the fireworks show at Disneyland during the holidays or Halloween. It changes into like a projection show. Mm-hmm. And I feel that is something, if you can't get to the front and be looking at the castle, then it's okay to skip. Because from far away on Main Street, you're not missing much. You are, because you're not seeing the lights on the castle, and you're hearing it. So I don't know. I feel like that's something we could have skipped.
That's smart. What about you, Darian? Any any parades or fireworks shows you would recommend for Disney World?
Yes, the Festival of Fantasy Parade at Magic Kingdom. It's my favorite parade. I think it's like one of the only parades going on right now. Because of, it changes. But that parade is amazing, and it's so interactive, and it's just like fantasies brought to life. Like she said, anytime you're trying to see anything at Disney, you want to camp out to get a good seat. But the parade, it's so long. You can really find a spot anywhere throughout the park, along the parade trail. It goes back into hold on. Where does it start? Oh my gosh. Now I can't think of where the land is. It starts by the Tiana ride. I can say that. It starts by the Tiana ride and goes all the way to the front of the park. And as long as you have a spot along that, you'll be able to see the parade. As far as fireworks, my kids do not really like loud sounds.
Mm-hmm. It can be overstimulating for sure. I mean, even for adults.
So we've done like the fireworks shows the first time that we went, and I feel like each of my kids have seen it throughout different stages of their life, but it's not like since we go all the time, we do not stay for the fireworks all the time because they don't like the loud noise. Now we like to see it, like if we are leaving, we'll leave early to beat the crowds and watch it from the monorail or watch it from the parking lot, just so they can see the fireworks but not hear the fireworks. That's just, like I said, that's just my family. And I know some people do headphones also.
Oh, smart. I guess for parades, I did see one when I was there. Well, just by accident, honestly, which, I parked the stroller and we were waving at the characters. But I will say, for people like myself who aren't big parade people, the characters are amazing. Like they are waving, they're interacting, they go up to the crowd, they give high fives. I think that is so fun for the whole family. And so my next question for anyone really is, how important is it? Because you always see the Disney pictures of, the cute kids, and I'm talking about kids. So 4, 5, and 6-year-olds taking pictures with characters. How important do you guys think it is to do that with a baby toddler who, is still in diapers? You know what I mean? Do you think that's something to skip? I skipped it personally when I went with my 1-year-old. I don't want to wait in a long line. But how important is it? And maybe we'll have different opinions. I love that. So yeah, Darian, how important do you think it is to wait in line? And whether it's the princesses or whether it's Buzz Lightyear, whatever it may be, how important is it to take some photos with characters?
Okay, so it's kind of a two-part thing. I think it's important, but I also don't like waiting in line.
Yes.
So, because babies that are under 3, they get into the park, they also can go to the character dining for free, technically.
Ooh.
You don't have to pay for them. So we
Yes.
would do character dining, and then the characters come to you and you're skipping the line and you still get those pictures because, like I said, since we go so often, it's just the memories of, oh, this was you when you were 6 months and now you're 1 and now you're 2. And to see them grow with the characters, for me, that's my favorite part of it.
Wait, I absolutely love that. And now I'm having small regrets. We're going to go again later down the month. But I'm wait, yes, I love that.
So that's why I say, and especially when people they're not going to remember it. My kids love looking at their photos from Disney and the videos that I create. So they will sit and watch our own channel. Can you put it on this day so I can see this? Because they don't remember it, but in their head, they do now because they see so much of it. And so, yeah, I think the pictures are very important.
I would also have to agree with that. Because, I think it's fun. You're taking a little baby. Miller, he didn't know what we were doing. Granted, Scotty did. But I think it's so fun just to look back at the photos. And 100%, I don't know if that was something we were going to talk about, but the character dining. I love character dining. And I'm an adult because, yes, the characters come to you. And that is, it's just great to be sitting, eating, they're content, characters are coming, we can snap our photos, and they're just having a blast.
Exactly.
So fun. So let's talk about character dining. Christina, tossing it back to you. What is character dining? How do you get a ticket? Just kind of walk someone through who's listening before going to Disney.
Okay, so am I the best person to answer this? I'm not sure, because my favorite and one and only place that I love to character dine is Goofy's Kitchen. And I have been going to Goofy's Kitchen since I was a little girl. So we only go to Goofy's Kitchen. I know that there's other places, but essentially you have to now reserve a spot, and they have usually a breakfast or afternoon dinner situation. But you reserve a spot, and you can, Goofy's Kitchen's buffet style. So you go get your food, and then as you're eating, different characters come around and you can just take photos with them. So I enjoy it very much. And I'm just going to say this right here because, this Goofy's Kitchen used to have bread pudding. And when I was pregnant, and we decided to go to Disney, take Scotty to Disneyland for the first time, we booked character dining. And I was so excited for bread pudding at Goofy's Kitchen. I was craving it, and they did not have bread pudding. I was devastated.
Good to know that they swap the menus. They switch it around. Not
It was
fun. What
terrible.
about you, Darian? Would you
Yeah, oh my gosh.
walk
And then
through
being
character
pregnant?
dining? Yeah.
Oh, I know you wanted to cry.
I think I did.
That's so funny. And then, so I guess, Darian, what about you? What character dine-in do you recommend for Disney World?
So Disney World is huge. So they have a lot more options for character dining. Now, when you ask if they require a ticket, now some character dining is in the resorts. So Chef Mickey's, Topolino's, those you don't even need a Disney park ticket to go to. You just go to that resort. So for people that maybe are not wanting to fully do Disney for the entire day, but to still get some Disney magic, I definitely recommend like doing those character dining at the resorts. In the parks, I love Tusker House. That's where we took my son for his first birthday. That's in Animal Kingdom, and you get to meet Mickey and Minnie. Wait, Minnie wasn't there. It was Mickey and Daisy, and I think Goofy in their safari outfits.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and what's another one? So they have at Hollywood Studios, there's Hollywood and Vine, I think, and that one changes. So in the morning they have like the Disney Junior characters. We've done that one, and then in the evening it switches to seasonal. So there's like a summertime with Mickey in his summer outfits, and then there's Mickey's holiday when they have holiday outfits, Mickey Halloween, and I think there's a spring one. So I think those are the 4 changes. So that one I like because there's like whatever season that you're coming for, they'll match. But like I said, there's so many options at Disney World. I can't even think of all of them right now.
I love
but
that.
there's a lot.
I was going to say, good you pointed out too about the character dining that's at the resort, because Goofy's Kitchen is actually at one of the hotels. And so you don't need a ticket to like a Disney pass or ticket to reserve it.
How fun. I love that. Switching gears, baby center. So I actually didn't visit one. And my toddler was still nursing, honestly, when I went. I just kind of like nursed her when we were eating lunch or something. Anyway, but Christina, you, I know, went to a couple of the baby-friendly centers, the nursing centers. Where are they located in Disneyland and what's available in them?
Okay, so the baby center at Disneyland is... Great question, but it's down Main Street, and then before it breaks off into going on the roundabout, it's to the right if you're walking towards the castle. And that center, I would say, is actually a little smaller in a way than... Oh, it's not smaller. The doorway is just really small to that center. The doorway is. But that one is just always really busy for some reason. And they have like a little vending machine that has like anything that you can possibly need for a baby, like the bottles, wipes. They just have a bunch of stuff in a vending machine. They do have nursing chairs, and then chairs like outside of that nursing area if you just like want to like just kind of decompress, feed baby. They have microwaves, high chairs. Little toilets for kids that I believe are under 40 or 42 inches. And then, of course, changing stations. So we love going in there for Miller just because it's nice to just decompress while I'm nursing him. Normally, I am that mom, that woman who is like, I can nurse wherever, don't tell me what to do. And I have nursed Miller a couple times, just like on a bench. But I think it's just because it is so like stimulating there, it's nice to just get away. And then the same thing with obviously California Adventure. The baby center is actually where kind of like their main food court is at. And there they also have like another vending machine. They don't have as many nursing chairs. They have 4, but those chairs are actually, they're blocked off. So you get like a little privacy in every single, or so they have 3 chairs and you get a little privacy in every single one. Whereas in Disneyland, the chairs all face one way and they're in the same area. So there's no like curtain in between. There's only one spot where there's like a curtain at Disneyland, and that's usually reserved for the moms that are pumping. But California Adventure also still has like a microwave, high chairs, little potties, and a changing spot.
That is so informative. Yeah, I didn't check it out. I kind of wish I did to be nosy, but I didn't. Anyway, Darian, walk me through the baby centers and kind of, I mean, you said you bought wipes in a bottle at one, which is kind of awesome. What can you buy if, you forget something over at Disney World?
Okay, so it's kind of the same as far as the setup, as far as what you can buy. We don't have vending machines, so I find that very cool that you guys have a vending machine. Ours is like a little store setup, but they have like little snacks. Like, what do my kids call them? They call them Mickey Goldfish, but they're shaped like, I think, Chip and Dale or Mickey Mouse or something like that. So they have little snacks at ours. bottles, wipes, diapers, sunglasses, or the little sun hats that I was saying. The hat came with glasses. I bought that from the baby center too. What else did they have? Anything that you could, they have medicine, like baby medicine in there. Anything that you might forget in your diaper bag, they pretty much have it in the baby center. Our baby center also has like a little TV. I don't know if you said that or if you guys have that, but my older kids love, like when I used to have to change the baby or feed the baby, they would sit in the other area just to get some air and watch TV. And one time, like a cast member was in there and gave them crayons and paper to color on. So they really take care of the baby center area. So it's relaxing for like the whole family while baby is taking care of their business. But when you have 6 kids, I'm like, what are they gonna do?
Just sit. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, that's super smart. I love that. So one of the last questions really is souvenirs, baby-friendly souvenirs, toddler souvenirs. I mean, obviously, what I'm thinking of is like, stuffed animals, shirts, stickers, all the fun stuff. I know when we went, honestly, just to keep my daughter occupied, I bought her a balloon, which she loved, and it lit up. I bought her, I think, 2 or 3 stuffed animals. And then I didn't bring extra change of clothes, so I just bought an extra onesie there. So that's the stuff that I kind of grabbed. Tossing it back over to you, Darian, what are some souvenirs that you think are perfect for toddler baby when you go?
My youngest, when we went, we got him Mickey ears that said my first visit. I think that was a really cute souvenir. And then also you can put their name on them, like the little Mickey hats, you can get them customized. So I think that's like one of my favorite things to do is get something with their name on it. What else? Bubble wands, because my kids love their bubble wands and it keeps them happy.
Yes.
So bubble wands are also a very good first souvenir.
I would agree with that. We're big bubble wand people, and I know I said I pack light when I go, but I always pack extra bubbles. But they do sell extra bubbles, so we can always buy extra bubbles there.
That's so smart. What about stuffed animals? Do you think it's necessary to always get, the Mickey? I bought a Pooh Bear because she could say Pooh, which I thought was cute. What about stuffed animals, Christina? Do you think that's a must-have? That's a pass? What do you think?
So we did buy Scotty a car or a Lightning McQueen stuffy. And if I'm just talking to someone who's maybe going once and they don't have plans to go as often as I do, I live by #YOLO. And I would say yes. But when you're purchasing these things, probably like purchase them later on in the day. Like when you're getting ready to leave, because then you're going to have to figure out where to put all this stuff. So if someone's just going for the first time and they're only going to go maybe once every couple of years, I just think buying the souvenirs is a yes. And I might go out on a limb and say a must.
I agree. I definitely love, and I like shopping too. When I like going into the different stores throughout the park and it changes, like in Pooh Bear's Corner, it's all Pooh and Piglet and Tigger. But then if you go down to like the fairy tale land, it's all the princesses, which I think is super sweet. I so would agree. Last question, ladies. This has been so fun. Is I guess any other tips, tricks you would recommend to a mom of littles who is going to go for the first time with her family? Christina, I'll toss it to you.
So I would say, and this, because obviously we touched on like what to bring and that kind of stuff. I think the only other thing I would want moms or like parents to know is that like, it's okay if your kid is throwing a little tantrum and not to worry, because chances are like 10 other kids in your immediate like area are going to be having a little meltdown. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when I first took Scotty, I was so anxious about that. But now I'm just like, okay, whatever, let him have his little meltdown and then we're good.
I so agree. It happens. And it's a long day for parents and like for me, you know, as an adult. And so I can only imagine a kid who's constantly looking at everything that's so exciting and smelling the smells and being thrown off from their nap schedule. Definitely agree. Darian, what about you? What other tips do you have for first-time parents, moms, bringing their kids over to Disney World?
Yes, my number one tip is to relax. Like kind of like she said, where don't let the tantrums bother you, but don't let a planned day distract you from having a good time, because you're not gonna be able to see everything in the parks. The kids, they still need naps because like you said, it's overstimulating for them. So don't take them off their schedule too much, trying to do everything. Like pick some things that are like some must-haves for you and kind of go based off that. But if you get off schedule, don't stress yourself out about it. Just make sure you're enjoying it too. Like it's for the kids, but it's also for you. And that'll just make your vacation much more enjoyable.
I love that. Well, yay. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thank
this has been
you.
my favorite episode. I'm so excited. Yay to get this out. And so be sure to check out newmommymedia.com where we have all of our other podcast episodes, plus videos and more. That wraps up our show for today. Thanks for listening. If you love newbies as much as we do, please consider checking out the amazing businesses that sponsor our show week after week. And we'd also love for you to tell another new mama about this resource, which of course is absolutely free. And if you want to check out some of the other podcasts we produce, such as Preggy Pals, Parent Savers, Boob Group, and Twin Talks, then visit our website at newmommymedia.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more information, giveaways, and more. Our handle is at newmommymedia. Thanks for listening to Newbies.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care, and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
Hey mamas, don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.